Good morning from an overcast but always beautiful Johnny Carson Park in the heart of the media capital of the world, Burbank, California. The Burbank Talks crew is all here at the 34th annual Road Kings Charity Car Show. This is Craig Durling, and I'm joined as always by Burbank legends Craig Sherwood and Ross Benson. Join us as we bring you all the action from what is always a great event. Stay tuned and let's get this show on the road.
Hello, Burbank. Craig Sherwood here with you once again on location, along, of course, with Ross Benson.
Wow,
Jazz hands.
This is we're on grass.
Yes, we are.
I didn't take my.
We're not on
something.
grass, but
You're on something.
Yeah, but I didn't take my my allergy medicine. You guys didn't warn me.
We have also, of course, with us the voice of my Burbank, Craig Durling.
Good morning, everybody.
And we are here for another edition of the Road Kings Car Show, the 2025 edition. We're looking out around the crowd right now. It's forming. It's early. It's a huge crowd already. We have hundreds of cars here.
How many?
Hundreds of cars.
So I just heard somebody say they're on the other side of the river even.
Absolutely.
I never even knew there was another side here until I got here this morning, but there's cars everywhere.
Well, the Road Kings really do a great job of putting this together every year. This is a fantastic event. Every single dollar raised here goes toward Burbank charities. Now, $1 goes to the Road Kings themselves, so give them a lot of credit for that. It's an outstanding thing.
And we'll get into it later, but that's a big part of what the Road Kings do.
Exactly, and I was just going to say, they put on some fantastic events. This is their biggest, but you're right. The money that they raise as a car club, that they turn around and give it right back to the community, that is just fantastic.
Not just this event. They do events throughout the entire year.
Yep.
Well, we're going to show you, we have some footage we'll show you during our show today. We have a lot of guests coming up. And
we got a roving camera out there.
We have a roving camera out
there.
We got
a rover. Huh?
Yeah, we actually got the X-Men out there.
We have a GoPro strapped to a dog's head. He's just wandering around.
Oh, no, actually not a dog. Trust me.
Non-union.
Anyhow, we will be with you in a second with a guest. So stay tuned.
Can't wait.
Okay, Ross, we have our first guest. Why don't you introduce him?
We do. We happened. The show is just starting. It's like a little after 9 o'clock, and I heard that they did the flag salute, and then they did the
national anthem,
and it was sang by Gino Gaudio, and I've known Gino now
over 25 years.
25 years.
I mean, whoever sang it was like he was right here, like he was here.
Well, you know, he's
almost next to you,
as if
you were right on key. You brought your little thing to blow into. Oh no, you didn't. You brought a different device. Now there it is.
But it's the same thing.
And your rendition, I've heard you sing it many times. How do you sing at 9 o'clock in the morning that perfectly?
I get up at 7:30 and start vocalizing. Talk to Paul. Paul, my brother-in-law, has been visiting since for a couple of weeks. But yeah,
I'm surprised you have any voice left at all.
I know. You got to get warm.
Well, you know, you've done this show for Dawn, for Road Kings.
Oh, it's got to have been, I don't know, 10, 15 years, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, it's a great way to start the show. And I've heard you sing. You do quite a few. We were together a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Doing something that
Cambridge Park.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's great to, you know the words. You finally have them memorized. You could do Dodger Stadium and not embarrass yourself for the country.
Well, we've seen a lot of people over the years mess up the national anthem.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. Do you ever feel that pressure in the middle of it, and then where you're going at it?
Actually, it happened at Dodger Stadium. I sang,
places.
through the Burbank Kiwanis, I sang Burbank Night at Dodger Stadium about 8 times. And one time, I actually did go up on the words, but they kept singing, and the words came out.
Oh, good.
So it can happen.
There are many versions out there. It's a little known
now,
fact.
don't they televise it so you can read the words? So
No. You're up there in the middle of the field all by your lonesome.
Well, I've talked to other people that have sung there, and it's really hard because of the sound system. You're really listening to it in ear.
Right.
On a delay usually, right?
Well, it depends if you're out in the field, there's a delay. And so you can't listen to yourself singing or else you'll stop.
It'd be the worst,
You just
worst
have
thing
to
that
keep
could
going.
Right.
Yeah. If you're at home plate, it's different.
How many years have you been doing the national anthem, and how many different spots? What are some of the,
Oh my
what are
gosh.
some of the locations you've been doing it at?
I started probably, I mean, it's people need anthem singers, right? So, and I've always loved doing it. I've sung for Italian events all over Southern California. I've sung for a lot of events at Burbank. For all I'm asked to sing, whenever I'm asked to sing, I like to sing.
Have you sung it in Italian though?
No, but I've sung the Italian national anthem.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll hear that later.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that. Actually, I listen to Formula One all the time, and so you hear it a lot when Ferrari wins.
Yeah.
It's a good little anthem.
Yeah.
a good little anthem.
It's operatic. It's very
Yeah,
Italian.
it really
As it
is.
should be, yeah.
And my daughter lives in Phoenix area, and so she's been singing the national anthem for spring training
Oh, cool.
for the last 2 or 3 years.
Family
so we're kind
thing?
of passing it along.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You got good pipes.
Thank
The
you.
voice of a crooner.
Thank you.
Well, you do it so professionally, and I've been to a lot of events with you over the years. You always do it smack on.
Thank you, Rob.
You sound great. Everybody, I mean, you could hear a spare tire drop out here when you were singing.
There's a lot of those, but we had your back though. We know the pro you are, nothing would have gone wrong. But if something went awry, they never would have known if the crowd would have taken over for you.
Right.
It's been a group effort.
Terrific.
So now you've said you've done the car show for many years, which I know. And what's your favorite car out here? Have you got to look around yet?
Well,
they give the singer
a car.
a car.
Great. Well, a friend of mine was married to somebody I went to Whittier College with, Jerry. I don't even know Jerry's last
Jerry.
name. Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jerry.
he's got the
With a J.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the I guess it's a 46 Ford, or he's got that coupe.
You got me.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a beautiful car. That's my favorite car.
I get it.
Well, we're gonna have one of our next guests is Don Balderrone.
Okay.
He kind of pulls his show together. We're gonna try to make you a deal.
Okay. Make me a deal.
Maybe drive the car or watch it drive out of here today.
Okay.
But I don't know about driving it home.
Okay.
Or
Great.
if worst comes to worst, we'll create a distraction. If the key's in it,
We're gone.
yeah, you're
We're gone.
out of here. You're out of
Well,
here.
Thank again, always
Ross,
good. Always good.
Thank you guys. It's
Thanks for
wonderful.
being here.
Love doing it. And this is so much fun. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ross, we have another guest. Please introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Road King himself.
You mean number 2?
Yes, number one.
Number 2, Don Balderrone. This show wouldn't go on if it wasn't for Don Balderrone. Don has been a member of Road Kings. Well, give us a little history, Don.
Before there were roads,
Well,
there were kings.
Not quite that far.
I just recently read, your bio, and before they had gasoline in engines, and most people don't know. This is a little trivia for Burbank people. You owned a gas station at First and Olive, and also at
Olive and Glen Oaks
Olive and Glen Oaks.
and 5 Points, Burbank and Victory.
That was yours. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The 76 station there.
So you've pumped a lot of gas.
Oh, I surely did. I had the greatest customers around because they're all Burbank members.
that back in the day where the guy came out to your car with a big wad of cash in his pocket and peeled off the change and did the windshield.
Well, it's funny because there's a new place in town called Handel's Ice Cream.
Yes.
And they used to be a 76 station there when
Yeah.
I grew up, Tilly's Union. And I learned, climb up on a milk crate, clean the windows. There were 5 things I had to do. And I learned when I was 14. Clean the windows, check the oil, check the tire pressure. That's after you put the gas in the pump and put it on slow so you can get everything done. And then when you were done, the car was full. People pulled out. That was full service. Now you don't get.
Well, I tell you what, when I had my gas station, I used to give cards out to my customers. Here, Ross, have a card. And if you give me that card back with the guy's name that did full service on it, I give my guy a $20 bill. That was back in the late 70s. But they had to do exactly what you said. Check the tires, hood, windows, and can't really use the milk crates, believe it or not. That's under a different jurisdiction, FDA or whatever. Yeah,
There's a warning on there. isn't
It's a
there?
warning, yeah,
That's
it's
stolen property there.
It's on Scott,
Yeah.
because a lot of times you can't reach some of those older vehicle.
You're right,
You know?
right. But I remember women would love to come in. They don't want to be there in their nice dress. They don't want to be pumping oil or pumping gas. And so let's jump back here a second. Road Kings Car Show number
34.
34.
34.
Yep.
I didn't think you were that old, but I know you're catching up to me.
My grandson's older than that.
Well, you've been in Road Kings now.
Oh, geez, since 86, 87.
Back in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Since the 1900s.
The early days, as we actually
And you've served in, you're not only in the Road Kings, you're part of the Heritage Commission in the city of Burbank. You're part of the Chamber of Commerce. You're one of their ambassadors. Don is at every event. It's kind of like me. That's what, it's funny. Number one, number two.
Yeah, she carpool.
Well, it's funny because we both wear suspenders because something's got to hold us up. I just gave Don's secret away.
No wardrobe accidents here.
No malfunctions.
Right.
But how many cars you have here today, Don? Do you know?
We're pushing 300, 350.
Wow.
Can't have any more than 350 by park rules.
Oh,
So
all those park rules.
need to move your car, Ross.
They did already.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
They already towed it?
Somebody came and the parks people said, you can't park where you are. You got to move it 35 feet.
Hey, rules is rules.
And they moved it up here already. It's right behind
yeah,
us.
yeah.
I hope I got my keys back.
What an amazing use for Johnny Carson Park, though. What a great
Without a
venue for
question.
this.
Well, Don dates back. I mean, him and I go back. We've seen chili cook-offs here.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen concerts here.
We
We've
do
seen
Care Walk here every year. Well,
Care Walk.
except this year we got rained out. But
A relay for life.
Yeah.
Used to always do it here. Best place in town for that.
So I know you have, a dozen cars here?
Oh, our cars?
No, your car.
My cars. No, I have only one, 55 Chevy.
55 Chevy. Well, I guess you were telling me this last week that the city came and videoed you in your car,
Oh, yes.
and you have a classic. I mean, you've had several, and you buy cars and sell cars and so forth. Which car is your favorite of all your cars?
Boy, that's hard. I have two left. 55 Chevy with the flames, and I have a 79 Trans Am, Smoky and the Bandit. I bought in 1978 at Len Goodwin Pontiac when it was on San Fernando Road.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I still have the car. I just restored it again about 4 years ago, I guess it is.
Wait a minute. Wait. You just restored the car.
again,
It has not left your garage in 10 years, but you restored.
but it's about wrenching on these cars. That's the love,
That's
right?
the whole thing. I mean, it's the love of having a car. You have to have the experience of driving a car down the road, even the Trans Am or the 55, and people thumbs up. I mean,
People appreciate it.
they really appreciate it.
And a lot of these cars out here were built when you could actually work on them yourself.
Exactly.
Now you need a computer to plug into it, and it tells you everything that's wrong with it. But really, the hands-on experience that these cars give you, I mean, that's where all the love is, right?
It really is.
Because you're appreciating the result of your labors too.
And the camaraderie with the club is unbelievable.
You have members that I know, Fuzzy. Fuzzy's 103 now, or
Not a big.
I don't know. He's a little fuzzy.
He's climbing up there.
Yeah.
That's his trade name or his code name.
Yeah.
But you have some members that are getting up there.
Well, we just lost one last Tuesday. Don Hoffman. He was 91 years old. And we saw him decline quite a bit. About a month ago, we lost Nick Setkew. And he was 85, 86. And he's been on and off ill for the last 3 years. So, we need, like all organizations, younger blood. But the young bloods, I mean, thank God for Leno with his Leno law. Maybe it'll help us out a little bit.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you. None of us are getting any younger. Are the Road Kings attracting any younger generations? Is there a way to attract them to the same passion you all have?
It's difficult. I mean, you could go out and buy a car, make car payments, and they'll beat most of the cars here if they were racing or whatever.
You hope, just like bell bottoms and vinyl records, everything will come back, and this will, everything will come full circle back to a love of these classic cars.
Exactly. It really is. It really is. We have 4 new members coming in the club that are around the. Actually, I was going to say under 35, which is fantastic. In fact, one kid, he said he's telling his, which I know are Carrie, the real estate broker. I can't think of Carrie's last name, but
There's a couple of them.
that's his mother-in-law, and she told him, "Don't worry about it. Just go down and see Don." And so we sat together and everything, and he's now started the process. He has a really nice Nova, and
Nova.
yeah,
I remember Burbank Police Department had Novas at one time. They were white. Do you remember?
Yeah,
Craig? They
might have
were
been
white
one of the- might
with
be
a
one of
blue
those.
stripe.
The blue stripe on them.
Yeah, I remember when they went to Nova, and everybody said, "You guys drive a Nova?"
All Burbank cars are white, and each department has its own color stripe to tell them apart. And so they didn't know, is that a cop behind me or a park and rec person?
yep,
But
yep.
you guys, Road Kings, this is your big, your big salami, your
Exactly.
big shebang.
Your big event of the year.
You know, but
That's
people don't
Italian.
understand. You do a lot of other now. I don't think a lot of people may realize during COVID, you guys drove around station to station and had a parade. You do parades. You do stuff at Santa Anita, and the main purpose of the Road Kings is not only the camaraderie of your club, but it's also to raise funds that you guys turn around and give back to the community.
What else?
really,
What
it's
else
about
would we do?
the whole
I mean,
thing.
we need to do that. I mean, like during COVID, we had 200 cars. We traveled through all the streets of Burbank and visited every fire station in Burbank, and by the police station also. I mean, trying to give back a little bit to the community. Just as look, we didn't make any money on doing those, but we had enough people. And afterwards, we went to local restaurants and had lunch. It's fantastic.
Well, just last week, you guys put on, there's over 300 cars here, you say.
Oh yeah.
And just last Saturday, I know you had a little show, a little tiny get together at BB's.
Uh-huh.
There, Burbank and Buena Vista. That's
Yep.
BB's. But you had a couple of dozen cars there.
Yeah.
And then you enjoyed the meal at the restaurant.
Huh?
That is not only, that's doing a couple of things. You're not only helping restaurants out these days, because I know you've done that at a couple of restaurants, the Hill Street Cafe.
Sure.
Alley Ranch.
Alley Ranch. Yeah. Yeah.
And people don't realize you're not out here shining your chrome rims and making sure your car
You already did that.
But I'm just curious. I look at some of the paint jobs on these cars, and I would not want to put a rag to these cars. So, because I used to sell car wax many years ago, and people don't realize if you take a rag or these brushes over a car, you're scratching it actually because there's dust on a car, and you don't want to do that. But the paint job on these and the upkeep.
Oh yes.
Anything out here original paint that you know of?
There's a few cars that are patinaed. I'd say.
Patina.
The patina
Barn find.
Yeah.
Barn find. Yeah.
Yeah. There are several cars like that. But these paint jobs, a good paint job will be starting at $10,000. That's a lot of
Good
money.
one. And if you're committed, you want top shelf restoration on
But
these.
stop and think. You pay $10,000 for a paint job, $10,000 for the motor, because now you put LS6s in. That's the late model crossfire injection and everything. And you might have $40,000, $50,000 in a car. But I tell you what, in 15 years, you'll have a $80,000 car.
Mm-hmm.
You've driven it all this time, and it's like an investment
Treat it properly. It's an investment.
without a question. And I don't see, there's a few people that drive them every day, but usually it's in your garage, parked,
Where no one can see it, no one can appreciate it, nobody can wave at you going down Olive or
Right.
Alameda.
Right.
Where can people find out more about Road Kings, especially if they want to join?
Well, you could leave a message at 818.
Write it down.
Oh, geez.
How about the website?
523-1227.
523-1247. 818-523-1247.
Yeah, we'll probably throw that on the
Throw those green. And there's a website. Is it roadkings.net?
Yes, it is. Roadkings.net.
Roadkings.net.
And it'll tell you a lot of information. In fact, we have a booth right here today that if somebody is interested in the Road Kings, we'll give them an application. We'll explain more about the club, because we like to do things as a family. On the 21st, we're going to be going out to a Mexican restaurant off of the 126, and probably
Oh, wow. It's a good little drive.
Oh yeah,
Nice
and that's
little
fun. And there's a lot of little shows around. And Road Kings try to be a presenting in Burbank. Like we helped with the Excellence Awards last. Fact, we supplied water.
Sure did. Thank you.
I was going to say, most people wear different hats. You wear many shirts.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But I love every one of them.
Yeah.
I really do.
You wouldn't do it if you're not getting paid for any of it. This is all, we do this all out of love and passion.
Well, that's it, Don. I see you almost, we're together usually once or twice a week at some event and so forth. You do put a lot in, you give back to this community more than a ton of people. I mean, the different things you do. And that's what's so cool about not only the Road Kings, but the Heritage Commission, Burbank, Chamber of Commerce and so forth. Not only here with cars today, but I'm looking over, we got an antique police car.
Yeah.
We have a
Fire engine. The
fire
Historical
engine.
Society has the trolley over there.
That's a trolley. And that's a Moreland bus.
Did you take that to school?
No, but Don
1922?
built that. No, to be honest, that bus was built right here in the city.
Now we got to get B-roll of the bus. Got to put that on the list.
Well,
But speaking of the website and events, I was on the website this morning, and there's a calendar of all the events Road Kings is involved in, all the information. The flyer for this car show was on there, so everything Road Kings is on the website.
Oh, without a question. And past shows we've gone to, information about some of us members that are on the website. Getting back to the museum, we have a lot of nice things at the museum that we're just now getting ready to go. The F-104 almost done at Olive Park. We have the new edition of Amelia Earhart's statue that came from the airport. We have the 117A, a miniature model that they actually used for wind tunnels as they were building it.
It's not small; it's just really far away.
That's right. Well, it's
Actual size.
it's 10. It's probably quarter size.
Oh wow, that's pretty
And
big.
we're going to finish it, and we're going to put it on the side of the building.
That'll be nice.
That's great.
It'll be nice. It really.
Well, I know you are president currently of the.
Yeah, I'm president of the Burbank Circle Society.
Okay, there's one that we didn't add in that list of everything that you're, but the museum. We've done shows.
Oh yeah.
At the museum. Well, you're going to be back for coming up, I guess.
Yeah,
You
the
had another-
28th we'll be having our membership appreciation day luncheon, and all it takes is to be a member. And handy merch.
June 28th.
The food.
We don't know necessarily when somebody might be listening to this, so June 28th.
Oh, June 28th, 2025 at 12 noon on. You can come the day of if you want. We're registered at the car show today. And for $20, you get a year's membership and then a great lunch from Handy Mart. It's
Consider it a donation. It's a great donation.
it really is. It really
pays
is.
for itself in one visit.
How many museums have you gone to that you don't have to pay anything to get in?
Well, Don, we're going to let you get back to changing oil on a couple of cars. I just see walking up to us is one of our council members, Chris Rosati,
Oh,
who supports
good.
a lot of these things, and we're going to put him on here too.
He'll be number 3.
All right, Don.
Okay,
Thanks
thank
for being
you.
on the show.
Good to see you.
Great,
Appreciate it, guys.
congratulations, and thank you very much, buddy. Number 2.
That really makes me feel good coming from number 1.
Well, Ross, we have one of our city council people with us. Please introduce them and start the conversation.
We happen to have our newest council member, Chris Rosati, with us. Now, we've been here doing the show a couple years, and I've seen you walk by. This is in your backyard.
It's literally, I could walk here. I'm like 1 block away.
Exactly.
Seen him on posters around town. The good kind.
The sad thing is I'm
The
1
good
block
kind.
away from here, 1 block away from St. Joseph's, and 1 block away from the cemetery. So I'm covered.
No matter what happens, every contingency.
Exactly.
Well, Mr. Chris, or council member,
Chris is good.
it just Great weather so far. I mean, this is just perfect because we've been out here when it's 110 degrees. What do you think of your city today? Now, as a council member, you got to be proud. You got to be.
I am proud. Before I was a council member, I came out to everything anyways because I enjoy so much that our city has. Last week, I was at the Downtown Arts Festival. Last night, I was at the theater, the Wedding Singer, and today I'm here. So there's something always going on. You don't have to leave the city if you don't want to. Our Parks and Rec does a great job. Our charities, the Road Kings, they do a great job. Everyone kind of collaborates and they put on some really first class events for our residents.
Yeah, and that's, I'm one to be here 69 years, and I will say, I don't go out of Burbank much. Craig will tease me if I even go to North Hollywood or Glendale.
The B in Benson stands for bubble.
Bubble.
Well, you know what for?
I agree.
My grandkids
You don't have to
are here.
leave.
And we got 2 or 3 really great restaurants coming out. I toured them this week.
One in his neighborhood.
Idlewild.
The Idlewild.
Can't wait for that to open.
The gal that purchased that, she put $2 million into that place.
I missed Christina.
So do
but I'm
I.
looking forward to what Idlewild.
It is absolutely gorgeous, top notch. And then you got the steakhouse opening in the old K-Rock building,
Adults building.
Dalt's building, the old people love Dalt's. So there's some really good stuff happening.
There's always the bedrock of the smokehouse over there.
Absolutely.
Well, like you said, our community, we put on a lot that you don't have to go anywhere. I mean, coming out to this will take your whole day if you want. But as a council member, I know you make some difficult decisions. Last week you passed the budget, and it's nice to say that Burbank has some reserve, and
A little bit.
we're doing good.
Yeah.
And so forth. But you look at our streets are paved. You don't find graffiti on anywhere in town. We have a new police chief, a fire chief. Not too long, we got a new paramedic squad that is in service because of the number of people going on. We just have a lot going on at this.
We need something to complain about.
Yeah, and we're fully staffed, both police and fire. We're fully staffed. We funded the Job Connect program, where most cities don't have the ability to do something like that, where if someone's looking to transition or maybe they've been out of the workforce, they can get back into the workforce. But our library services, it's free. I mean, it's a privilege to do those things in our city, I think.
And, like you say, there's just so much going on in our community. Every weekend, there's things, and it's...
All you have to do is look.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look. The information's out there. This is out there. The Road King stuff.
Yeah.
It's all online. There's always something going on.
Oh, it's like we were talking to Don Balderrone, the museum. How many people have gotten to go through the museum? Or, Magnolia Park.
It's free, too.
Yeah. Magnolia Park, which I'm very close to, and, we have some great thriving businesses and stuff going on in there that are just fantastic. It's just, if you ask me, we got a great leader. Our city manager and assistant city manager, Justin Hess and Courtney, are running a great ship. All the executive staff.
I agree. And you know what's amazing is you can bring something up. They're always open to trying something new or experimenting with something new that could bring something interesting, a different flavor to our residents. And I really appreciate that, because a lot of people have closed minded. Like, we've been there, we've done that, other cities done it.
And things are changing so quickly.
Things are changing so quickly. And people, they have an appetite for something new. Things kind of get stale over time. So you kind of have to change things around a little bit, bring something new to the residents. Unfortunately, the Starlight Bowl is closed this season, but they're having programming at different parks, and that might bring a different kind of element to what Starlight Bowl did. So different communities will have a chance to go out to different programming, whether it's theater night or whatever. But I think it just gives everyone a chance to come out to their local parks in their community and kind of, all of a sudden you discover something new.
Well, it was a win-win. Sorry, Ross, but at the Carewalk, we got rain. You were at Carewalk.
Yeah.
We got rained out here at the park, so the whole event moved to the Family Service Agency building offices.
Yeah,
and that was a kind of a unintended win, because so many people who never even knew the offices were there or that they had offices were able to tour them and see them for themselves. So it was certainly a win-win, but that change of venue, that unintended change, gave people a whole new perspective.
Yeah, and it's just, we got, again, last night, Colony Theater. Now, Craig has never been there. He was my guest last night.
I've been by it for 30 years.
Yeah.
And he was blown away by the performance.
Yeah.
Probably back to my theater days.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I've supported the Colony, again, before I was a council member. I always thought it was important to support the local arts. And last night was just one of the best shows I've seen.
And that was a good decision the council made a couple years ago to give it back to where it belonged, because there were too many outside people wanting to control it.
Right.
But they got the right person doing it now.
Right.
Who was there before and had a passion, and she's nailed it.
Yeah, she should,
Yeah, Heather, her team, Heather. And
definitely has a passion for it.
Yep.
And that shows.
And today you're off duty. You're at a car show in a beautiful park in the middle of Burbank. You have any favorites yet?
I haven't even seen one car yet. So I'm a Corvette guy, so I really want to go look at some Corvettes, some muscle cars, but haven't toured it yet.
They're here, and there's some on the other side there too.
Yeah, you see the cars on the other side of the river.
It's huge. And it's funny because I have friends in other cities that are saying, hey, I'm coming to this car show. They're like, Newhall, they're all over coming to Burbank to see. This is a big car show.
It is. Well, we're going to let you get back to your family, but before you go, I got to say, congratulations on being one of my Burbank's best. You won our contest. It goes out there. We had over 2,000.
Oh, it's over 3,000.
What can we say? What?
My Burbank's best is the top realtor in town.
Oh,
And
not think I knew that. I already knew
not the
that.
first time either.
I already knew that.
every year I'm humbled when I receive that award. It's not something I promote, not something I try to send out people to sign up for. But when I receive it, it means a lot to me because I know a lot of people that subscribe to my Burbank. They watch it for everything, and to be associated with that is.
Well, you're sporting the Burbank's best tattoo. I see, freshly inked. Well, just kidding.
15 years, Craig and I, we've been doing My Burbank, and we felt the city needs its own news source, and we try to get out there. We have Ashley Erickson will be with us today doing some stuff. Craig, we've done some podcasts together. We've been on the road. We did something at the Tournament of Roses. We've done stuff at the
Fire service days and
it's something that it's a service that Craig and I feel that the city needs. And we have our readership. What are we? Our Twitter followers, we're over 55,000.
51,000, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a news source. It's very informative, especially during the election. You guys did a great job of covering all the candidates, interviewing all the candidates who wanted to be interviewed. So I think it's definitely become the go-to if you're looking for news in Burbank. So thank you.
It's funny. I go places and you'll see people on their phone looking at it'll say My Burbank, and I'll go
like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah.
Right?
You got a Corvette to go find.
I gotta go find a Corvette. That's exactly right.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Guys.
We stopped you as your wife. I don't know where. She probably's home. If you get a text, take Uber home.
Not home.
She might be buying a car.
We'll be here for at least a couple hours with that kid, no doubt.
Hopefully the weather holds. This is perfect.
Well, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Right, guys. Thanks so much.
Ross, we have a celebrity with us. Why don't you please introduce him?
We do. Chris Jacobs. Can you believe
That guy.
you are? I love the hat you're wearing, the Road Kings hat.
Thank you very much.
Well, welcome to My Burbank. In this great car show. Can you believe this?
It's a great turnout every single year, and this is no exception. I am a proud Burbank resident and also a proud honorary Road Kings member. So,
Does that mean you have a car here? Or
I don't have a car here. I brought my wife and daughter with me today, so we kind of just did the quick into the family car and came over here. But I do have several cars in my collection, just didn't bring any today. But I do love being a Road King, and like I said, such a great turnout here at Johnny Carson Park every year.
any favorites yet? It's early. It's early in the day.
We just got here, so my daughter was into the Batmobile.
No, she's over. Yeah, right
Yes,
here.
right here. Yep. Hi, Scar.
She can get a fire helmet over there too.
Yeah, I think she's got one.
Oh, does she? There you go.
Well,
There we go.
well, tell us
already.
about some of your shows and how you got into cars.
Yeah, well, back in 2003, I auditioned for a show called Overhaulin and was lucky enough to get the job. And that kind of launched me into the television car world and the hosting world. And we did 17 years of the show and about 165 episodes. And kind of like I said, just immersed me into the car world. I host Mecum Auctions now. And
love that.
I've been doing that for the last 6 seasons. I did 6 years of Barrett Jackson before that. So just have remained in the car world. I have a show on Mav TV, which is now Racer TV, called Dream Collections, which is pretty self-explanatory. We go around the country and visit amazing collections that normally people wouldn't be able to access. So yeah, I've just kind of been living the dream and doing what I love and getting paid for it,
That's
which
great.
is kind of the point, right?
Absolutely. I'll watch the Mecum auctions forever.
Yeah.
For hours. Hours. Eye candy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Eye candy. But what came first? The love for cars or the car shows?
The love for cars, for sure. Yeah, my dad was a Porsche guy. He always had 911s. So I actually have a vintage.
Wait. You're about 6 something. How do you fit in a Porsche?
Hey, you know what?
Convertible.
They're surprisingly roomy. It is a Targa, but they're surprisingly roomy inside. I mean, all you gotta do is sit in one to know. The Lamborghinis and the Ferraris, they're a little bit harder to get into, and definitely the C1 Corvettes are very difficult to get into.
Yes.
I say getting out is even harder.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You got to get a shoulder roll or something.
You need a friend to get out. But yeah, so my brothers were into muscle cars. My brother Zach had a 66 GTO convertible. My brother Clay was a Z28 guy. And so I kind of grew up around what are now classic cars. Back then they weren't classic.
It
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. So that was kind of my introduction to it. I didn't really know a lot about cars, but I knew that I loved them. And then when I got Overhaulin and then the auctions and everything else that came along, I kind of have been, sponging up knowledge for the past 25 years.
You knew you loved them. Have you ever been able to pin down what it was? Was it the mechanics, the coloring, the styles, the lines?
Yeah, well, I'm a Mopar guy, so definitely the style,
sound.
the colors, the sound, of course. I love all the high impact colors.
And now these paint jobs are just
Yeah, well, I have one now. I have a 23 Charger Super B, which is plum crazy purple, which is a nice throwback.
I didn't
to,
hear that pulling up.
No, I did. I wish I had brought it today. My daughter loves that car. She calls it the vroom vroom car.
There you go.
Yeah, it's got
there you go. I like
great
that vroom, vroom car.
exhaust note on that car. They really nailed it at Dodge. But it's one of the last calls. 2023 obviously was the end of the SRT program, and so they released 7 last call models. One of which was the Super B, and then I also have the last call, which is the D170, which is the 1,025 horsepower Challenger.
Now, do you have a hangar at the airport like Jay
No, I don't.
to store all these cars?
I
or-
wish I did.
might rent you some space.
Budgetary issues.
He might rent you some space.
Yeah, no, his facility is absolutely amazing. And
Isn't it?
I expect to see him today.
Yeah, he'll be. Usually he comes every year. He comes and he's great to talk to. I mean,
It's like a tornado going through, though.
Yeah, he's definitely a flame, and all the moths surround him.
but his thing is, he loves playing with cars.
Yeah, he really does. He's the real deal. We shot a couple episodes of Overhaulin at his shop, and it was just amazing to be there. And he seems to expand it every time I go back. There's more, but he is the real deal. He's a true car guy. He knows his stuff. He knows his mechanics, and it's just always a joy to see him. And I'm glad he's still doing great.
Well, you say you're Burbank. You've been in Burbank a long time, or you?
Burbank since 2007. Yeah.
Well, that's long enough for me.
Still a probationer, though.
I'm still on probation.
That's a long
Okay.
time.
I get it.
69 years here. This one.
Yeah, I've been around for a while.
Trying to catch up to you.
I had hair when I, was a young kid.
Me too.
But you find the Burbank restaurants and everything else.
Best.
Isn't this a great city?
It's the best. I mean, we love it. We love, we walk from where we live. We can walk to Bob's on Friday nights, of course, for the car show there. We love Novo Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Very excited about the Capitol Grill about to open.
It's hard to find a good carbonara, and Novo has a carbonara.
They have a fantastic carbonara. They have everything they serve there is amazing too. Prosecco, of course, is great. That's L.A., but it's
a couple blocks adjacent.
Burbank adjacent, exactly. Honorary Burbank. But yeah, I mean, Burbank for a long time, and I think it's finally breaking out of it, had kind of that stigma of like, Burbank, what's that all about?
Yeah.
Well, once you live here and once you spend time
understand.
here, you get it, and it is the greatest city in Los Angeles, and we're lucky enough to live south of Moore Park, and so we're in this little kind of pocket that's totally family friendly, and it's just a giant cul-de-sac.
A great walking neighborhood.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of cross traffic and tons of kids, and we're just so lucky to live there, and we love it. And if all goes according to plan, they'll wheel me out of there on a gurney.
No time soon.
Not soon. No, I got to catch up to him. Yeah,
And I'll be around for a while, I'm told.
He'll still be around.
Well, Chris, we're going to let you get back to your daughter, and she was looking at some cars.
Looking at all the
There's tons of cars for you to look at.
She's a car person, man. She loves it. She loves
She's
it.
picking out some of the matchboxes back here.
Oh yeah, Joe. She's got a great collection, which used to be my collection, and I used to kind of keep them all pristine. But now they're missing their wheels and everything. So, but I love the fact that she is so into cars, and I cannot wait to teach her how to drive manual transmission in my '85 911.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Where's that?
That's a skill.
save.
You need to learn early.
Yep, absolutely.
Manual.
Yeah.
Where's that reverse?
Yeah,
Where is it?
exactly.
Over here?
Somewhere in the middle.
Down and to the right. My
Isn't that what the R stands for? Down to the right.
That's right.
Yes. Well, Chris, thanks for joining us. And,
It was a pleasure, guys.
thank you very much.
Right
A
on.
lot of fun. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, guys.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you guys. Thanks.
There we go.
Oh,
There we go.
Roadhouse.
Well, Ross, we have another guest, but before you introduce him, I want to say one thing.
You're only allowed one.
That's it. This is the man who took care of us, who walked me through everything we need to walk through to be here, who bent over backwards to make sure we had a great place and everything else, which we really appreciate. So, Ross, go ahead and introduce Bruce, our guest.
We have Bruce Borst with us. Bruce, you and I went to school, junior high
And high
and high school together, so we've known each other. I come to the show and being in Burbank all my life, and I remember you used to be a newspaper boy.
Yeah, for the Daily Review.
Oh, yes. Didn't we all? huh?
Here we go.
We have stories about Miss Trempy and journalism.
Oh, boy.
Going the way back.
Chief Campbell Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this car show, you guys have pulled it off again, and I know how hard it is to do an event like this these days. And you have really, again, over 300 cars. The people, they're coming out now that they're done with church and doing all that. Buddy, you've done a great job.
It's a challenge every year. There's obstacles that we have to work through. There's regulations we have to work
Including this week, they threw regulation. They threw something at you this week.
They actually did. It was additional paperwork on insurance, then a secondary insurance. What I kind of feel for is like a lot of the vendors that come here, they have to ask their insurance company for an additional document. And they said, okay, you want an additional document, it's an extra $50 or an extra $40.
Yeah.
And these folks are, selling recycled license plate frames. They're selling toys. They're selling patches or whatever. And they just don't have the income to do it. Unfortunately, a lot of the vendors I talked to, they said that they go to other car shows. Yeah, they have to get a certificate of insurance, but these secondary third documents and that is up and beyond. It's too bad. And we want to stay in Burbank because it's part of our name. It's part of our culture. The guys that helped start this club, one of them lived on my street on Griffith Park Drive. And
But they're making it difficult. They really on all the nonprofits.
yeah, and I get it. I get it. I understand that. We're in a culture right now where you turn on the television and turn on the 5 o'clock news, and the majority of them all about injury attorneys or lawsuits and all that. And the city wants to get protected, but it's got to be some type of compromise. And I know we met with senior park officials of Parks and Recs who are very accommodating. The one thing we found out, there was inconsistencies amongst other departments.
Yes.
So they're trying to come up with a citywide policy on the insurance piece and all the requirements, because if you go to Holiday in the Park, which is controlled by the street division,
And we have somebody.
President,
yeah,
President
And of course, the things that visit Burbank do, which are totally different.
and then we have Parks is different, and they're trying to get it consistent, which is good. I just hope they don't make it over consistent.
And people should know that every single dollar you guys bring in and raise, not $1 goes to the Road Kings.
Without
It's the money that you take, turn around, and it goes 100% to all the Burbank local charities.
You know, the one thing is being when I was president from 2020 and I termed out after 3 years. And in 2022, when we started talking about and COVID got lifted, I said, guys, gals, I said, anything in this club we donate to, if I don't hear the name Burbank or they have 91506 or 502 or 505, whatever, all the zip codes in Burbank, but unless they have a zip code in there, I really don't want to hear about it. And I said, I kind of have the latitude to do that. And you only have to get a few people that are the influential people within the club still and get them on your team. And we all agreed it needs to be part of Burbank. There could be great charities that, that help out veterans but they're in St. Louis, Missouri and all that.
Right.
And the money needs to stay within the
Keep our money local.
in Burbank. I mean, we do Jacaranda Rising, which is a housing group. They have a booth here. Got the Historical Society. They're here. We have
The Boys and Girls.
three other
and Girls
Burbank
Club.
Police, the Burbank Police, the
Yeah.
Boys and Girls Club. They all have Burbank in their name.
Yes.
The Burbank Police. They made the Burbank Police Foundation get a permit to sell here today.
And Burbank's in the name.
And Burbank's in the name.
But despite all the hoops and hurdles, it's looks like a fantastic. turnout
Yes,
today.
absolutely.
Now, Bruce, I do know that you have a car that you usually take off blocks every year.
Yeah,
And it gets
here.
waxed and polished.
that's correct.
What do you have out here?
I have a 1971 El Camino SS 454.
And now I follow you on Facebook.
Yeah.
That car has one of the original engine or the
It's the original engine in it, but I did have it beefed up. There's a fella named Jim Grubb up in Santa Clarita. He does a lot. He actually helped develop the Coyote engine for Ford. And he does a lot of dynos in that, and he built my car up. The original engine put out 360 horsepower. This one now does 450. So I just remember as a kid going to Burroughs, I got 3 speeding tickets on Clark Street or Clark Avenue in a month on the same Burbank cop. So if I would have had that car in high school, my ass would have been toast.
well, but it's so cool that you've kept that car.
Yes.
And like I said, we've known each other for years, and you've been involved in Road Kings in your car, and it just, I just love, I do Holiday in the Park, and I do some other organizations, and hopefully we're going to bring Burbank on Parade back.
That'd be great. We'll be in it.
Oh, I know you
yeah,
are. I
sure.
got Don's commitment already.
We'll be in it.
I'm guaranteed 2026 we're having a Burbank.
good.
We might change the name, but that's besides the point. But
It'll have Burbank in it.
Yeah.
it will.
It will have Burbank in it.
It will, but we're going to have you guys. But, I love seeing the smiles on people's faces. We've had hundreds of people walk by so far today. They are just loving this show.
Well, you don't drive far from here, and you just don't have events like this anymore. Community events that bring people together.
Yeah. It's, everybody has a connection with either a car. I mean, I got my El Camino, had a neighbor that had an El Camino, a 71. I said, that is one cool car. I always
What's
want.
yours?
Mine was 69.
71 was
I had
a
a
great
69
year.
SS.
68 to 72 are the desired years for an El Camino. Or if you get
Yeah, mine was a 69 that had a
59.
396 in it, and
Now, see what I'll
I
tell
used to
you
have a
what,
baseball team in the back of it and to give them rides home, and they'd be
yeah.
bouncing around. And,
yeah.
I remember a place called 1721, Winchell's on Olive.
Yeah.
We used to meet in there.
Over.
Craig taught me how you jump your foot on the emergency pedal and spin your wheel.
Yeah.
how you pull 360s and stuff. I don't know.
And that was a well-known location because for years, any location in town known by its address,
Yeah.
is 1721 or,
You also learned how to, you're kind of speeding, the cop is behind you, use your emergency brake instead of your regular brakes so they don't see your brake lights go on.
Yeah. That was right by McDonald's.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember when they built that McDonald's.
Yeah. See?
Remember, it used to be all outside.
Yes.
You remember? And they used to watch the number 3 million, 4 million,
Yeah, it kept
5
going
million.
up.
Yeah.
Going up.
you have a picture of everyone.
I should have.
I will tell you, you have pulled it off again.
Yeah, it's a good
From
event.
the My Burbank crew, again, like Craig thanked you before for giving us.
Absolutely. You really
everything.
took care of us, so I appreciate it.
You know, if you remember one thing, and I'll say, thank you.
Oh, you're
Thank you from not only a lifelong Burbank resident, Craig and I, but, you know, our team. We love being here. We love seeing the people come up. Thanks for taking the time and the headaches that you've had to go through.
It's
to put it on.
I'm going to tell you that though I'm retired, I still work 2 days a week. My old job called me back and I work part-time. I bet you I have at least 60 hours into all the insurance and the requirements that are required for every vendor, for the Road Kings. We always have insurance. We always name the city of Burbank as a secondary certificate holder. But then they want it for the specific date, and just the back and forth. And I'm trying to coach somebody that sells pot holders on how to do their insurance. It's
Well, we're selling some T-shirts, and I got $1 million policy to sell some T-shirts.
yeah,
It's a big ask.
yeah, it is. But you know, the other one is back on the car pieces. Everybody has a connection with some type of car.
Yes.
I mean, I saw a '55 Buick Century. I grew up in a car like that. A Volkswagen. My dad had the black
Let me ask you,
Volkswagen.
what was your very first car?
I actually still have it.
Really?
It's a 1962 Volkswagen Bug. It was featured in the John Burroughs smoke signal.
Oh, yeah.
I probably took the picture. You
I
don't
think
even
I do
remember.
recall that.
And it was Car of the Month. And Miss Trimpy was our teacher. We all know Miss Trimpy.
Oh, definitely.
All the old bungalow.
Well, it's funny. The other VW that we all remember, Brian Hurst,
Yeah.
you know, who lives
Yes, yeah.
right across the street here now at the Ivy Park.
His was older.
You know, yeah.
Mine was a
He
62.
brought his over from Europe, in Germany originally.
Yeah.
Look at
But-
the memories and nostalgia the topic just brings up, and this park right now is full of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll,
And Burbank people.
the statute of limitations is over with. I'm going to tell you, when the street used to be dead end, you know, we would drink some adult beverages in high school out here, and the helicopter would land for NBC. And,
right.
you know,
Bob Petty?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and some of us had a few too many, and you thought it was an alien craft landing. Yeah.
Well, it's funny.
Might have been.
I just shared with somebody yesterday. I recall when President Reagan landed over there at NBC, and all the trees,
Blew all the trees out of the ground.
and they chased us away. You couldn't shoot it. They didn't want,
But
you know.
the potholder people need insurance policy.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, the guy selling Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
I have a picture of him and Nancy coming out of Marine One, waving,
that's
you know,
cool.
of this, you know, right here. And you now look where we're sitting, these iceberg buildings that are new,
Yeah.
and we're still the media capital of the world.
So I got one Miss Trimpy story for you.
Oh, I love it.
You're going to love it. You may have been in there, but you may claim immunity. I don't know. But it's like 1970. What year did you graduate?
74.
Okay, 75. And we are in journalism class, which was the bungalow off the main campus.
Right across the street.
And Miss Trimpy had a 57 T-Bird,
Yeah.
black and white. I remember that. So anyhow, she goes and she says, I have to go see Mr. Rouse over in the print shop.
Oh, good old Gordon.
I'll be back. So she wanders off, and, you know, she's not very fast.
No, she wouldn't.
So she had to walk all the way across campus. So it was like, you know, when what's that saying about the birds are away, the chicks will play or something, whatever.
With the cats away, the mice will play.
That's at the cats. I was thinking chicks. So once she left, we turned the music up loud. And I think it was on KHJ. She had probably, I don't know, news channel on. We turned that on, you know, and all of a sudden, Benny and the Jets comes on. So we had Patty Janetti, we had Wendy McElhaney as cheerleaders in there. Clint Howard was there. He was.
I was just with Clint last week.
He's in our class, and you can ask him. He probably remembers this, but anyhow, the cheerleaders got up on the tables and started dancing. You know, and I was supposed to be writing articles and that. And I go, okay. So it was getting out of control. And who walks in? Who's the principal? Was it Chavor?
Oh, yeah, Sherm Chavor. Brown suit Chavor.
he walks in.
That was
we
last
got-
year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're dancing up there and all that, and the music's playing, and we're doing a whole lot of nothing. And Shavor comes in with the Burbank Fire Department to do a inspection. And they're going to town dancing like they have a different type of job on dancing. And they're going crazy. And they were dancing in like 5 seconds, seems like 5 hours. And finally, the cheerleaders make eye contact with Shavor and the fire department. It was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, right.
So they leave. They go, where's Miss Trimpe? Oh, she went to the print shop. So they take off, and Miss Trimpe comes back, and we tell her what happened, and her face dropped like she lost her job. God love her.
That white hair.
Yeah, the white hair. But she was in total awe.
Well, here, I'll give
We're
you.
going to need you to stay after class.
Yeah, I'm just an observer.
I had Mr. Rouse for printing,
Yeah.
and I had him right before lunch. And if you were cool to him, he'd let you leave a couple minutes early because he knew some of us would want to get the Clints.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he had to have that head start, and he'd let us go. I always remember Mr. Rouse letting us go to Clint's a little early.
Right.
We don't have Clint's anymore.
No. They're going to Giamelli's.
Yeah. Or pizza pie.
Pizza pie,
Pizza
Del
pie,
Taco.
27 cents a slice.
Oh,
Well, again, we could talk Burbank stories,
You guys need to plan a lunch to get together and
but again,
the Pup and Taco, of course. That
thank
was the,
you. Yeah, Papa Taco,
Yeah.
Magnolia, and Hollywood, and
Buena Vista.
Buena Vista.
Yeah.
But thank you for, commanding the ship on this and doing it again.
Yeah, and there's a whole, Gary Arellano and Mike Gourmet and Karen Arellano and
Karen's car is right behind us.
Sarah's car's right there.
credit where credit's due, right?
Yeah. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that
In
happens.
fact, Gary's just driving by being chauffeured on his golf cart.
Like a maniac. Look at him go.
That guy, I'm going to tell you, if you got to pick a worker crew, and you got a number one pick, you want to pick that guy. He's a horse. He's
Well, you got a good team here
Almost
all
like-
together.
almost as good as a Clydesdale.
Not as tall, not as
You,
big.
I know, could tell us stories with the Clydesdales. You've been with them many, many times. I tell you, I love reading some of your history.
The best Clydesdale story is when they asked me to be in a commercial. And it was a community event for Panorama City. And they wanted to show how Anheuser-Busch gives back to the local communities. And Anheuser-Busch bought them a massive fake tree, something that would be at the Grove, and decorated it. And they did a thing to where had the Clydesdale hitch out in front of the brewery, and they put me on top, and the brewmasters down below, and they're handing us fake cases of Budweiser to put on the wagon. So it was faced in the parking lot on Roscoe Boulevard, facing east, and it was, oh damn, how are we gonna turn this thing around? And I says, I know. So I called my buddy who was on duty, LAPD motor. He came over and they blocked Roscoe Boulevard down so the Clydesdales can make a U-turn and come back.
Permits that would take now? How many permits?
We just
and those Clydesdale are treated like royalty. I was lucky enough to go back into St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I went to the farm
right.
where they take care of them and everything. Oh my god, it's amazing what they do for those horses in St. Louis.
I mean, I had a good job. You had different band levels with there, and the band one, it was like the BP, and I was a band 5, which I always said it was like a captain at a fire station. That was about what my job was. And those horses, I always used to joke. I went down to SeaWorld, and they had like air conditioners blowing on them, and I going, I think this horse is like a band 4. how
Come on, I'll rank you.
and all of the bedding, the shavings comes from one farm in, I think it's in Oklahoma, and they have it shipped all over the United States. The shavings just for the horses to have, and the feed has to be at a certain quality.
Yeah, they're very.
The only horses that come with a rider.
Yeah,
Not the jockey kind.
Yeah, those things they're massive, and they're a great symbol of our company.
And they can only have red M&Ms or something. Right?
There was Van Halen,
Well,
wasn't
they
it?
have to have certain markings, or they get rejected. They won't.
Oh, yeah.
They sell the horse, and they sell the horse for they're like $5,000 a piece if you want one. If they're miscolored. Oh, you need a horse? Let me know. I can hook you up.
Well, no, but down the road when we talk about whatever the parade's going to be, I want to talk about maybe bringing Anheuser-Busch. They have a rolling stage that I might want to borrow.
Their number one. Well, good luck on this one. Their number one criteria, are you going to sell beer at the event? If you sell beer, you got a better chance.
Well, we'll have to figure that out.
You're working it out.
I got room in my garage.
Yeah, I don't think there can be any opposition, but you have to take and they have criteria on it. A lot of it is a lot to do with the military. I mean, big with Folds of Honor program. Then way you can tie that into it for veterans, and that helps.
They have causes.
You
they
got your
Absolutely.
your
Well, this information, you and I need to go to Talleyrand one of these days and talk and give me some notes with what I need to do.
All right, we can do that.
So,
Get the calendars out.
well, Bruce, we're going to let you get back to checking on your car show. Again,
thanks again for all you did for us.
thank
Really
you for us and for the citizens of Burbank.
Got to go get started on next year.
All right. Yeah. We're actually going to do that. Any big project like this, you always want to do a postmortem.
Right.
You go through and you say what went well and what went bad. And there's a lot of stuff that went bad today that you don't even know that happened.
Don't tell anybody. Don't say it here.
Like cars driving down the pedestrian.
You have to come to the show and find them for yourselves.
Well, that's the thing. Craig and I have been in theater, and what happens behind the curtain?
Yeah.
And, when that curtain goes up, and today when the curtain went up here, most of the couple thousand people here don't know the headaches that you went through, all the little things.
Oh, we ran out of donuts.
Oh God!
Oh, I had that written down.
Homer Simpson, he was here and said, no donuts, no meeting.
Bruce, an absolute pleasure.
Oh, you're welcome.
All righty.
Us.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right,
All
guys.
righty. Ross, somebody else said stop by our location. Why don't you introduce them?
Oh, I'd be glad to, Craig. Walking after Bruce Morse left our table, we
He didn't
had.
go far though.
He didn't go far. No, he's supervising this conversation. He asked Ralph Setta. Now, if you're a Burbank resident, and you know Ralph. Ralph's been around Burbank now for
60 years.
you're that. Come on, tell the truth.
Well, at age 67.
Ross has been here since its incorporation.
Yes.
Wait, that's the barometer.
That's it, 1911.
You went to that good school, Burroughs. We were all classmates.
Here we go.
Yes.
We were all classmates. What car did what's your favorite car out here?
Oh, right now, I'd say I like the Nomads. The 57 Nomad struck my interest. I wish I had a Chevy. I didn't have a Chevy in high school. But that kind of car and the powered frame was a lot of fun.
And what are you driving these days?
Right now, I'm in a Infinity. So it's a great 20-year-old car that still runs great. Happy.
There you go.
There's original paint, original engine.
Original paint, original engine, not the original brakes.
Never.
Never, you're right. Well, now that was the easiest interview we've done all day.
That was great.
Oh,
That was
that's
perfect.
Oh, wow.
Want to record now?
What I remember.
Oh, we on the air. Hello.
You got me. That's good. That's good. But I remember your car in high school.
Which one? My mail truck?
I do remember that.
I had
You have the Jeep or the little bread truck version,
the bread truck version with the steering wheel on the right.
right?
And
That explains why he's still a terrible driver, by the way.
Yeah, he can't.
well, the cool thing about it is I used to drag the baseball field. We put the drag on the back, and then I could hang out the right side of the vehicle with a Brody knob on it and just do the circles.
In those days, there was no grass in the infield.
Right. That's
Not
right.
after he was done with it.
No.
And then I went from that to a Cadillac.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So but you
Unbelievable.
remember that the
Unbelievable.
mail truck?
I do.
And
I
it's
remember
funny.
the poster you had on that too. Poster was classic.
Well, I had on the front of it
Are you going to
US
explain it now?
U.S. Mail, MALE. And that's when CHP used to do those road checks. They'd park on Verdugo And I'd come off at Toluca Park Drive where I used to live. They nailed me. And one of the officers said, "What are you stopping a mail truck for?" And the guy said, "Those landing lights that he has glued on the front bumper are not department issue."
You're like Caddyshack. Put that steering wheel on the other side where it belongs.
But that was, if I could get that vehicle back, I see it every so on.
Yeah.
When I see it, I would love to, that was I love that vehicle. I mean, how many people own a mail truck?
It was
MALE.
Yes.
was very unique.
That was back in the days when I just started working at Save on Drugs at Hollywood Way in Verdugo. And I used to park it on Verdugo so I could watch it. But now there's a...
Who's going to take it?
Exactly.
Have you had any of the food yet here?
No, I have not.
Which hot dog are you going to choose? You got 4 or 5 different versions to choose from.
Oh, well, I'm usually just a mustard guy, but I'll have to go venture off.
All right. They got a Texas dog over there. It's got bacon bits on it.
Okay, really good.
And barbecue sauce. We'll find out. I think we might find out.
Okay.
An investigative reporter, right?
Kosher bacon bits.
Okay.
Rabbi came over today and
Made sure it was all legit.
Yep, it's not noon yet. We can have kosher bacon bits.
Well, the sun's coming out now. It was overcast all morning. Sun's coming out, so the heat's going to go up. We got some cars to check out before it gets too hot here.
Yeah.
Oh, you got your favorites. You already have your favorites picked out?
I do. And, just walking here, I saw those. But, yeah, I like the Pantera. But, I like the old, the Chevys, especially the ones are 1957.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good year.
Wonder why.
I have no idea.
Wonder why. Ralph, it has been a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, nice.
Been around all this time, and I think we're just meeting for the first time.
Okay, well, nice to meet you.
Boy, let me know how the hot dog is. I'll let you know how the Texas dog is.
I will. So when do I get to hear?
Compare notes.
Is this is this streaming? I can grab
We're
it?
not even recording. This just window dressing. He wanted to make you feel good.
Ross, we have a good friend of my Burbank with us. Go ahead and introduce him.
A good friend of my Burbank is you're Bob Green, right?
The one and only. And thank goodness it's one and only.
You're
It's
right.
not, he's wearing the wrong shirt.
Bob Green is the sales manager, general manager,
Fleet manager.
the
Facility manager.
the head bottle washer at Community Chevrolet. And Community Chevrolet has been in Burbank for
65 years going on 66 since 1959.
Longer than you.
yeah.
This year he brought a beautiful Traverse to show everybody. And in fact, Craig, you were very much
It's
been
on my
eyeing
short,
that.
it's on my short list. It's on my short list for sure. Nice to see one in the wild here.
Well, is this show amazing? I know you do your own show, but you're here every year and you have been. You go to a lot of car shows. Is this amazing?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why over the last few years, actually prior to the last 3 or 4 years, or I think it was the first one right after COVID maybe, or the one before COVID, I had noticed that it was Galpin Ford that they had as the main sponsor. So when I spoke to the powers that be, Don and a few, Karen and Gary and Bruce, I said, wait a second, it's the Burbank Road Kings.
I don't think Galpin's in Burbank, is it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They tried it one time.
Last night
Sense,
checked.
right?
Yeah, they
They
tried.
tried it one time and it didn't work.
Bought him off.
So then we're the only new car dealership in Burbank. And it's the Burbank Road Kings. Shows in Burbank. We should either be the main sponsor or at worst, so to speak, co-sponsor. So as of the last couple of years now, we match what Galpin does donation-wise, and we're now co-sponsors.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And this is all about community.
All about,
Yes.
being part of the community. As Ross knows, I get out in the community at almost every event, pretty every nonprofit event. I'm an ambassador with the Chamber of Commerce. So, we always stay very well involved.
And that's the thing. Community Chevrolet, over the years, been very community minded. I know they do their great car show every
So this year it's going to be November 9th.
November 9th.
And last year we set a record. We had 130 cars.
And these are just
Chevys.
This Civic.
Weird. We'll slip in a GMC here and there, but it was like 128 Chevys and maybe a couple.
Well,
GMCs.
I know you bring a car out to holiday in the park.
Yep.
You have for several years. You bring cars out, they're shiny and pretty and brand new and all that.
Other than the guy driving it.
Right. Except for
See the
guy-
contrast.
But you really are a community-minded person, and that's what benefits Burbank. You go down the main street, main drag, Olive Avenue, and there you are.
Half of it is Community Chevrolet.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Can't miss it.
So, I can just get back to our car show for a second. So, last year we set a record. We had 130 cars, trying to get it to probably what would be a max of 150, because they actually turned some people away last year.
Right.
But that was due to some circumstances I wasn't aware of. And then we get the Tommy's hamburger truck there, ice cream, the Hot Wheels racetrack. So it's a great, great family event, for the day. And especially the fact that it's just basically Chevys only. It's quite amazing that we were able to get that number.
Yeah, it's and today's show, your show, people love cars.
Absolutely.
Like Craig said, we were joking before. I don't think you found a lithium battery yet.
Not a lithium battery in the park here.
And that's why I didn't bring But no, this is it's an amazing, show what they do here every single year.
Right now in the current state of affairs in the world, there isn't a lot of commonality that we can find
Absolutely.
right now. And this is something people share and love in common. And people who don't know that they love cars come here, and it's more than cars. It's art, and you have the community feel here and everything too, and it attracts more fans. But it's nice when a community can come together at a shared event like this and just enjoy a nice.
Well, especially with everything that's going on in the world and what's going on in LA right now.
Yep.
I mean, it's great to have this many people here. It's absolutely wonderful.
Right now, this park is a bit of an oasis in LA County.
Yeah.
And all the other stuff that's going on right now in the current news, but
Absolutely.
it's a nice break from that.
Yeah.
Good to scratch.
Oh, Bob, I'm going to let you get back to watching your gorgeous Traverse.
Wax on, wax
Did you
off.
see a fingerprint?
No, you can have that.
Ross put that
A
there on
smudge and a
purpose.
schmear.
Yeah, I think he did it with his middle finger.
It's
though.
sabotage.
Oh, and we also want to really seriously say thank you for supporting my Burbank all these years.
Absolutely. It's,
By your support, that's how we keep this going and getting news out to the community because of people like you.
and obviously we will keep it going.
Thank you, Bob Green and Community Chevrolet.
All right.
you.
Thank you. Well, Ross, we have one of our elected officials with us. Please introduce her.
We sure do. We happen to have Madam Zazette Mullins, who is one of our city council members. She has been a good friend of mine and a city council member for several years. And prior to being a city council member, she was our city clerk.
She was.
It was.
And the one who brought passport services to Burbank.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh.
And it's still alive.
It's very successful, too.
Very successful, thanks to you.
Great. Yes.
And you are very, Zazette, like I said, we're good friends. We've known each other for a while.
All the Burbank royalty today.
We are. I mean, we've had Chris Rosati came by earlier, and you are our next city council member.
And you're here.
He's the important man.
Ross is here. Yeah.
Is this amazing, Zazette? Now, you had told us before you sat down, you got your walking shoes on this morning, you went to Glendale's car show.
Yep.
And now you're here, and is this amazing?
You don't even have to ask you which one's better.
So, he knows I'm honest. Well, first of all, I went to Glendale's car show because my son is participating. He has like a 1963 Mustang that he loves and worked on. And so he said, Mom, I'm down here today to support me. And of course, Mommy has to do
Number one duty.
Exactly.
Number one
And
duty.
you didn't share there. He's also a member of the Glendale.
Police department. And I got to go and I saw the Glendale chief. We had some good conversation. And as you know, our current chief was working in Glendale. He was the captain or the chief in Glendale. So it was all nice conversation that we had about our current chief.
Stole him.
And we stole him. I always tease him and say, you can come and visit us once in a while. We'll let you in our city.
Well, it was funny because last week I think they did the Special Olympics torch run. And I heard the chief say somewhere is Burbank, the platinum city, was handing it off to the gold.
They definitely have that going on between the two of them.
They do.
See who's going to be better and who's going to have more social media posts and like.
Well, they were good friends.
Friendly rivalry.
Yes.
Yep, and the chief has hit the ground running here. I mean,
Hit the ground doing pull-ups at Fire and Police Service Day.
right. Is that you were on vacation? We didn't get to see it.
I know. I felt so disappointed. I had told him when he was hired that I knew it was going to happen in the middle of May, and that was the time when we were going to be gone out of the country. But I did watch it. The whole entire thing. I did watch the council meeting that night. I was up to the wee hours looking, watching the council meeting and seeing what's going on while I was gone.
That sounds like a vacation.
I'm sick that way. But it was fun. It actually made me come back and feel like I didn't miss a beat. So I knew exactly what the conversation was and I had a good time.
No surprises.
No. Nope.
Well, they held off, and they've just passed the budget last week. You came back. And, I mean, we have money, and we have our police and fire departments are fully staffed right now. Our fire department is, as we heard Eric report on that.
Yes.
You look around us, what's going on in other cities, large and small.
Not too far away.
Well, that's it. We are just in such a great, financially.
Yes.
We are, our reserves, we have reserves there. We have new fire equipment, new police equipment. It's just our city, we've talked to, a dozen people today. And people just love the city.
Appreciate the Burbank bubble more and more every day.
Yes. And kudos to, of course, our executive team, our city manager, our fire and police chiefs for bringing things to the city council and having that conversation that whether it's difficult or something that it's easy to take care of, but we are not afraid to have those difficult conversations and find out what our needs are. And of course, the community, we know the Burbank community is very vocal, and they come and they share their thoughts at the council meetings. And if it's not at the council meetings, emails and also phone calls. And so I think this is the type of participation we want to see in our community. People are engaged, involved, they care. We're not going to always agree on everything, nor that we...
You don't have to.
Absolutely
But you can still have the conversation.
Absolutely. At least I know when I walk somewhere, and if no one approaches me and say, by the way, is that, I have a concern about this, or thank you about that, then I know they probably don't know what's going on. And if they don't share their concern, how are we going to fix it as council? How are we going to fix it as a city? So I take all the input that I get from the community very serious, because this is what makes us be better every day. This is what makes Burbank the way it is today, because we take that and I go directly to the city manager, city attorney, have that serious conversation. And, we need to provide an answer, whether you're going to like it or not, but at least we had a dialogue and a discussion. Because the last thing we want to do is brush people off and say, oh, yeah, sure, this is how it is. The number one thing I hate is when somebody tells me, well, there's really nothing else we can do. Now, let's talk about it.
Well, you think of our city services, and Craig and I will, we have a fantastic city manager. Justin is doing absolutely a great job. Courtney, our new assistant city manager, our whole executive team is amazing. And I will tell you, Craig, a week ago, he told me he used a new 311 app. There was a sign in front of his house that got run over or something. And how many hours did it take?
I got you get the receipt message, and within an hour and a half, I got a message saying it had been corrected, and it had been.
Yeah.
It had been.
This is try that in this neighboring city of LA
I'd rather
or
not.
North Hollywood or
No,
you know.
thank you.
And this is, I think that's why people want to live in Burbank, and they love Burbank. And you know, I moved here in 1982, and I never looked back. Even though I worked in Glendale for 25 years, they would say, "You need to move here." I'm like, "Why? Nah, I'm happy in my city." So I'm even more honored that I've lived here all this time, and now I'm serving the community and served it as the city clerk.
And you know, we've talked to a lot of people today. Community events like this car show are so important for a healthy community. So many other communities can't do this. You know, it's unsafe, it's cost prohibitive and so forth. But this, you see smiling faces. I see kids running around. I see people with their dogs, and we've seen everybody from young people to probably 100.
And there are people meeting,
Engaging.
making friends, engaging, having conversations, whether it's about cars or that leads into another conversation or common interests. It's just a fantastic gathering point where really it highlights the whole idea of community.
That is the word community. That's what it's about. Whether you're a car lover or you just want to come out and listen to a band or
Enjoy the sun.
enjoy the sun.
Yeah.
Whatever the interest is that you have, you can come out and join any type of event. We have a lot of events that we also do in the downtown area, and there's always something happening in the city of Burbank. I wish we can do more, and we're working on it, Ross. We hopefully bring certain things that we have missed in the past, and I think we need to do more and more of these events. And
Well, you know, Craig was my driver last year during Holiday in the Park, you know, and he literally,
I'm fine. I'm
you
fine.
know, we were estimated for about 40,000 people came out to that. And to just see the people just smiling and having a great holiday prior to the holiday. And to me, that's honestly why I do what I do, because I love to see community. It's healthy, you know, when you see the smiling faces and to be part of.
And everyone's welcome. Everyone's accepted. There's no judgment. Nobody's outcasts. I don't see signs anywhere in protest. Nothing like
Well, I remember our council member, Zazette Mullins, after Burbank Holiday in the Park last year, she said she had to walk from Florence and Clark to the event. Well, you know what we did? We were working with the City of Burbank's transportation team, Karen Pan, who is a sharp person.
yes.
We're going to have shuttles this year coming from some different locations in the city to bring people. And we're working with our transportation. We're going to have a dedicated handicap space, probably at the Do-It-Yourself Center, an area for people to ride their bikes and park them there. So we're looking at a lot of things. We are expanding this year. We've put in to move it all the way to Frederick, you know, because it's grown so big. We're also taking into account this year autistic kids that are sensory sensitive. We're going to have a time before the whole thing kicks off for them to enjoy. And it's because I want to make sure they're involved too. We have a lot of kids, you know, and the other day I was with somebody that gave me some ideas that I want to do in Magnolia Park, a truck thing. Kids love trucks. And I want to do a big thing with trucks, big trucks, little trucks, you know, and
I could do free truck inspections.
there you
Wow, look at that volunteer. See, that's a great point, Ross, that you made it, and we touched on it earlier. Is we listen to what our community members need. You remembered what I told you, that I had to walk several blocks, which was fine because I got my steps in that night, but you could have just, oh, well, you know, it is what it is, you know, other people, but look at, you're already doing something about it. You're trying, you worked with the city, came back and said, what can we do? Can we shuttle people? And this is why we're so successful in Burbank, because we really care and we listen to our people, and we listen to somebody like Zizette, who was whining about how many blocks that
I heard you.
You heard me.
You don't
Thank
have to
you.
take the shuttle next year.
I'm still gonna walk. Next time I'll walk from my house.
But Craig and I, we were on the cart. We're bringing in more potties this year. We're bringing in more things that to make it a better event. We want my person who's running it is Jeff Ferguson. Ran it last year. We ended up in the black. It's expensive to put on an event like that. That event was about $110,000.
Wonderful, because most events they end up losing money and we go away.
We have paid all our bills, and we are in the black on that. And this year we're going to be the same way, even with all the protections that we need to place. Every weekend you turn on your TV and somebody's driving through some festival or something. Ours has been signed off by the traffic engineer, by the traffic lieutenant. We have sidewalks covered. We're going to make this the safest event for anybody in Burbank to come to. But we want to make it fun. And people look forward. I've heard people say, what are you going to do this year?
I know. I do. I bring my grandkids and my daughter and our friends, and we run into practically most of everybody we know in Burbank. They're out there walking around.
Well, isn't that
enjoying.
important? That's
Yeah.
to me. It's like this car show. Getting up at the crack of dawn. We went to the Colony last night to watch this show. If you have, we didn't see it last night.
No.
The wedding singer. It was
You
opening
will
night.
love it.
Actually, we plan on going.
All your 80s references
yes,
are in there.
that's us, and I know my husband is a big fan.
You'll get all the jokes.
Oh, Mike is sitting. That's husband is sitting here.
In the wings.
Craig, that's the first time Craig was at the Colony. He loved the Colony, but also the show. You will start laughing.
And I got
from
my
the
start in
opening.
theater, so it was nostalgic for me. And I'm looking at the sound booth and all that, and the rigging and the lights and all that. It brought me back for a theater I've driven by for 20, 25 years and have never been at.
The
Last night was the
Colony is
first time.
definitely
Fantastic.
a jewel. We're so fortunate to have them and have their the shows and the production they put on. A lot of people may not know about it, but as soon as they walk in, and they're like,
I'll be back.
wow,
I'll definitely be back.
Exactly.
And I will say, I know you were very passionate when my Burbank broke the story that things weren't right of how they made the choice.
Yes.
We had Lisa Paredes and myself. We worked on that story, and Heather, who runs the Colony,
Yeah.
putting on a great show. I
Absolutely.
mean, last night
And the after party.
Oh, I missed that.
The reception following the performance.
See, I knew I should have been there, but when you have two things going on
you
your
will really
schedule,
enjoy. You will walk out of that show.
It was-
Really, it was a fantastic.
It was very well done.
That's a plug for the Colony Theater. It's on, I think, through the 29th. The Wedding Singer. If you don't know where the Colony is, it's at 3rd and what about?
And you park in the mall structure
It's,
right next
it's
to
where
it.
Macy's is,
Right.
right in the parking
Yep, same parking
Easy,
structure.
easy parking, free parking.
Free parking.
You don't have to walk too far to the theater. The theater's
It's
Right.
steps
Well, it's
away.
connected to the parking,
It's
structure.
Literally just go up a couple steps and you're inside the theater.
and I go ahead.
No, just another great example of what Burbank has to offer as a community. You can get everything here. So hopefully things like the theater, this car show, the parade, the Magnolia Park events and all that can keep going because it's something that needs to be nurtured. It can go away so easily. And just an observation I made during the performance at the Colony last night was clearly just the energy in the audience, the reaction of the audience to the performance. It's something that's needed. People in Burbank need
Yes.
that kind of entertainment, arts, culture, whatever label you want to put on it. But the audience was hungry for that, and you could tell that it was very well received and needed.
And I prefer, of course, having them here in Burbank. They support our local business. They, go out to dinner, go have a drink afterwards. And I think,
Well, what was kind of neat this year, Ashley Erickson, who's their marketing person, who is part of our team, she did something with Magnolia Park. They're now doing the movies at UME on the same night as Food Truck Fridays, 4 of them at the end of the month. And the Colony was a co-sponsor. They did commercials there. They co-sponsored the event, and sold tickets and so forth. And it's not just, you're not in one corner of the city or another. This is community-wide.
everywhere. Yeah.
And as a council member, You must get total joy. Yeah, when you're at the market and somebody complains that the water was running somewhere over, for too long, you must get joyed when you come to a show like this and you see how happy.
You need to enjoy the successes.
I am always very proud to see what goes on and see it on social media, read the comments for individuals and just look at their faces on how walking around here and see how happy, they're joyful.
The little ones.
The little ones are
Little ones having a
walking
blast.
around, having a blast. And it definitely, I look inward and say, you know what, we need more of this. And this kind of puts all our differences aside because we're here to look at cars and say hello to people. So whatever differences we have, agreement, disagreement, we forget about it, at least for one day, because we're here to enjoy this beautiful
If nothing else, it's a great distraction.
It is, definitely.
Very welcome
I'm
distraction.
so glad you stopped by. Mike told me that you get to go out and choose the car that you'd like to drive home in.
They all have the key in them. So
Oh, he was going to keep that a surprise.
I wasn't supposed to say that.
I already took a picture of this beautiful, colorful car in the front. I don't know what model it was.
sounds like
but
you've made your
I
choice.
know. I'm like, can you see me driving down the street in this colorful car? It looked nice. I do want to.
Maybe in the parade.
Oh, yes. Burbank on parade. I love it. I love it.
We've already got the commitment from Road Kings that they will be the official car of Burbank, the parade.
And I can't wait to bring the parade back.
Well, I'm thinking about doing a little different. We'll do it in Magnolia Park where those businesses would love to do
It's
it.
a separate meeting.
Whatever works, and we can bring our community together. We can bring a fun parade. I always get jealous from Glendale when they have the Montrose Christmas parade, and I'm like, why don't we have a Christmas parade? Why don't we have a parade?
And even better, even ever so slightly better parade.
Yes.
Well, I can
much
promise
better.
you, as I said to our city manager last Saturday, 2026, there will be a parade in this Burbank. I promise you.
And I'm going to wait for it.
And I promise you, I got your shuttle buses.
You heard it
It's
today.
coming.
Okay.
We're going to do a parade next year. Go enjoy the car show.
Thank you. I do want to, before we close up, thank my Burbank for always being there, reporting what's happening in the city. Before we jump on anything else, we see if my Burbank published it first, because if they did, that means it's legit. So
So we're always checking our
It's
sources.
usually the other way around, but that's good to hear.
thank you for everything you do and always showing up when you need to. So we do appreciate you.
Well, thank you for being here.
Have a wonderful day.
You
Right.
too. Thank you.
Well, Ross, we have some Road Kings royalty with us. Why don't you go ahead and introduce her?
Well, we do have royalty. Karen Arellano and her other half, her better half.
Not on mic though. You're
Right.
in the wings. You're in the wings.
You're holding up Karen because I know what time you guys were here this morning. Karen, you sat in this seat last year. We interviewed you, and you were overjoyed with the number of cars that kept coming in. I hear you have over 300 this year.
Yes, we do.
We haven't even been able to walk around or see
No.
the cars. I mean, I should get on your golf cart with you and go around real quick.
Not a bad idea.
But what a show!
Oh, it's great
You
again.
guys have pulled another one off.
We do. We are over 300 cars again.
But not more than 350.
No, we can't go over that number. We're not allowed. Just a little over 300 between our cars and everybody else's that is here, that are show cars. And the variety is fantastic. One boat and a ton of cars.
So there is a boat here.
There is a boat here.
I thought there was a running gag or
Right
something.
over there,
There's an
right by the bus.
There, hiding in plain sight over there.
There you go, right under your nose.
Not just a car show.
No, it is.
Well,
It's anything unique.
It takes a village to put on an event like this. We've talked to Bruce, we've talked to Don, and you guys, again, to fit all the cars in here, to deal with the vendors. As I remember saying, what a great community event. Look at the happy people, everybody walking around smiling, having a good time. It's all your fault.
Oh, that's a good thing. I'll take that.
The phrase herding cats really does come to mind
Yeah.
when it comes to your job here.
But you know what? It's a lot of work. I won't say it won't, but it is so much. When you see this and so many people come up and tell us it's a great thing. I saw all my friends I haven't seen in a while. It's a Burbank event. And actually this year, because I didn't do as much on certain things, I got to walk around and talk to people too today.
Yay!
So
Like
I
us,
was
too.
excited. Yes.
Well, like last year, I learned you were the first female president
Yes.
of Road Kings, and you have a classic car that we have got to sit across from this whole show. And I've looked at that car
Between us and the boat.
between us and the boat.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, you have that thing in pristine.
I got a great detailer.
Not just a bodyguard.
It's not.
Wow, look at that car.
Oh, that's my Blue Betty. We just finished Blue Betty. That's Red Wagon. Everybody gets a name.
You have to name these cars.
I name every one of our cars.
Wow.
This is the Nomad area.
Yeah, it was a Nomad welcome show this time. So we called a bunch of places. He called a bunch of other groups that had them, and we got several Nomads in.
It gathered all the Nomads
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
from afar.
We got them brought in.
The nostalgia here, the stories people can tell about every one of these cars.
Oh,
Well,
it's
you know,
amazing.
besides the cars, with Gary sitting next to you, we want to thank Gary for setting us up, getting us stables, getting us into where we need to be.
Absolutely.
But I tell you, people don't realize 300 cars in here, folks. You got Gary, you have it laid out right. You've done this professionally. You've done this for me for Holiday in the Park.
This park gets real small on car show day.
It does. It does. And you have done a fantastic.
Like a giant jigsaw puzzle.
Well, one thing I don't know that we've asked anybody today, but certainly this is a good time to do it, is over the 34 years this has gone on and however many years you've been involved, how much change have you seen?
Well, okay. Before we were actually
Cars
Road
get
Kings-
older.
Yeah, the cars get older. Before we were actually Road Kings, he brought a friend's car that we had. That show was totally different than we did the first time I was a Road King. We came here, and it was everything was brand new to me, so I didn't really know a whole lot. Then we had COVID, and then we brought it back in 22 or 23 or 22, something like that. And when we brought it back, everything was so different from everything else I had remembered before, because you have so many different things you couldn't do and can do, and they just become part of our life. But the car show itself hasn't changed. There's the old cars, the people that love to see each other, the people in Burbank that come together, that want to talk to each other, haven't seen each other for 6 months, but they come here and see each other.
It's a reunion.
It is.
In many ways.
It is. And so I just think people get excited to do it and enjoy it.
Well, we
And
sure.
get out of the house.
Hey, I'm totally out of the house
Get
all
out
day.
of the house, yeah.
Well, you got the fire department here has one of their rigs, the police department, the historical bus that was built here in Burbank, a boat. You got new cars, old cars. We have gotten to interview over a dozen fantastic people that, what a day.
It is. It's a fabulous day.
It is. And, thank you again we know what you went through to put this show on. It's not easy dealing with, we had Bruce on before, and some of the stuff that you had to deal with, and it's unfortunate, but I'll tell you, you guys pulled it off well.
Yeah, and,
Thank you very much.
And what's always of concern these days is the future of community events like this.
I'm not sure. They're getting tougher to put on, and we're just getting worn down. So
Well,
we'll
along
have to
those lines,
see.
I'm seeing a good variety of ages here, which I think is really important.
It's from little to old, and what they do. It's that a whole family comes, 3 generations sometimes.
And I think I mentioned it to Don earlier, is just like bell bottoms and what else did I forget what else I said, but everything comes kind of full circle.
It comes around,
back.
yes.
So hopefully there's a renaissance.
Okay, I
coming.
can hope for that.
Yes, and we want to see all ages here.
We
And
do.
That's what the newer generations keep Road Kings alive. It keeps events like this alive.
Keeps the community alive.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of our council members, Lizette Mullins, a minute ago. Community is a real important thing. Like she said, what's going on outside of Burbank right now? I don't want to even know. But you know what? People here have no clue and don't care.
They don't care. They can have a good day with their family.
Distraction.
You need it.
Yes.
Totally need it.
It's just so healthy. And,
Yes.
Smell that gas.
Oh, great. It's great. It's great. But no, but all the senses get going at a show like this.
They do everything.
The sights, the sounds, the smells,
completely.
Everything. It's just, it refreshes everything, refreshes the soul, and I'm not overselling it. It really does. You come here and take a breath and enjoy the environment, the music going, the kids running around having a great time, the works of art that are laid out in front of us.
Yes.
It's just amazing.
These people, one gentleman called me and they had 2 Nomads coming in and his brother's Nomad had an accident yesterday.
Ooh.
They worked on it last night and they brought both Nomads today.
Really?
These guys call because with registration, I send an email and so they can communicate. I got all sorts of information from people through the day. My car's not running. Can I switch it for this? Can I do all these things? And we do that to help them so that we get everybody here happy.
Is he displaying a before and after picture of that particular Nomad?
I don't want to see. No, I didn't even know. No.
He made it. He made it here.
He made it here and he's happy, okay?
Great.
I'm just curious, how many miles are on your gorgeous machinery right there?
How many? I know I have to get it for insurance every year, but I forget what the number is.
Not much because we have cars drive.
Has it rolled over?
No. Do not say.
Forsooth.
Yeah. Maria twice.
Oh, Rochelle's colleague.
Roads that we drove to Lake. Right. Drive them.
So those are drivers.
They are drivers.
Driving cars. But it sounds like your job never ends
My
here.
job is actually, I got to get
You're
down there.
being
They're
called
hollering
away
at me.
right now.
They're hollering at me.
Aaron, Gary, again, from everybody at this car show, from my Burbank's crew, thank you.
Thank you
Thank you so much for everything.
I'd love to
Bravo.
come to
We
see you
appreciate
guys.
it.
Bravo.
All righty.
Thank you.
Ross, we have a very special guest with us. Please introduce him.
I will say a very, very special guest. We are honored to have Jim Miles. Jimmy,
Yes.
as you go by, I am told one of the original
Right.
members of the Road Kings.
Yes.
Buddy, must be a great day for you.
Yes.
Looking at
Well,
this.
we established the club. We had our first meeting on the 17th of November, 1952, and there were 17 of us.
Wow. And you got how many now? I mean,
Now we probably got somewhere between 85 to 90 people.
Wow. We'll call that a success for sure.
and what was your first car?
My first car that I had that I raced was a 49 Ford with a built flathead.
Wow. That thing had some go in it.
Well, didn't have enough go to beat all the other cars I had to race that had Cadillac and Oldsmobile engines in them, the Chrysler engines.
So that was the first car you raced. Was that on Olive or Alameda?
No, that was a Saugus drag strip.
Oh, okay. An officially sanctioned race.
Right,
raceway. Okay.
I never drove on the street to get tickets.
Right. All right. You
Well, are you
stay out of trouble that way.
You've gotten chauffeured around by some great people today. I mean, if you got Bruce Boris driving you around,
Yes,
that's like the head of the Clydesdales. I mean,
that's right.
he knows how to do it.
That's right.
And can I say, is this a great show? Are you just amazed? And the great cars that are here?
Well, you never expect when you put on something like this, you're going to have all this magnificent automobiles around here. Just incredible.
You're always hopeful.
Always hopeful, but it always better than hopeful for me
Sure.
to see them. They're all great cars.
And everyone it's come up in previous interviews today, but every one of these cars has a story.
Uh-huh.
Everyone has a story. Everyone is a work of art in its own way.
Yeah.
And the generations of people that are able to come here and enjoy that common passion and meet new people and all that, it's just such a great community event. And the fact that it's still going strong.
Yes.
And when you jump started it back in the day, the fact that it's still what it is today and has grown to be what it is now, is a testament to your efforts, certainly back then and over the years.
Uh-huh.
Well, you've seen quite a bit of difference in cars from the day that you used to play around with yours. Now we're passing around. Now check. Look at that car. Look at that proud guy in
Look
front
at
of
that. On a lithium battery in sight.
Let me see it.
Here you go.
Let me get that on.
Well, Jim.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool.
What do you think of these cars today compared to what you got to play in?
Well, we've got a brand new 2025 Chevy Traverse sitting right next to us here. They compare it all to what's behind us.
Maybe in 25, 30 years.
Yeah. when these are collectibles, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if these will still be on the road in 20 to 25 years, but don't tell Bob Green that.
Right. Right. Well, we're going to let you. Bruce will be back in a minute.
Okay.
He, I think, had to go check the bathrooms or something. You got to say these Road Kings, your fellow Road Kings, have really done their job today.
Yes. What I have done for the Road Kings, I have collected a lot of pictures from the last 72 years and 6 months, and I've got the display up there with all these pictures of the people that were in the club back then.
That's cool.
Some are here, and some are gone.
Well, that's all part of the history, though.
That's all
and
part of the game.
You've been the archivist for that,
The club historian.
right? Along the way, you should have like a cape or a sash, that bestows the honor upon you that you certainly deserve. But once we get a chance to take our annual lap of the show here, we'll have to go look at those pictures for sure. I know where they are. I can see them from here. But
I got a lot of people that are still fairly invested involved in the sport, and that's not as an owner or a driver, but Don Perdone's one of them. You know of him.
Oh yeah. That name has been pretty.
Don the Snake.
Don the Snake.
Yeah, and also Bob Moravis and Mike, and let's see. What's it?
It's just tough.
Well, Rob.
Get old, you have
in the middle of the night, it'll come to you and you'll call us.
I'm getting up there and I can relate.
Tommy Ivo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Craig and I remember walking home down Oak Street, and Tommy would be out there starting his engine or putting him in the trailer, and all the kids would sit around and watching it.
Yeah,
that's Tommy Ivo. Our eyes were that big back in the day.
That was a huge Burbank celebrity.
Yeah, he was.
Now, Jim, being the senior member here, the Road Kings royalty, you made a few laps here today. Any favorites? Any standouts for you?
There's the one car that I really liked was the 55 or 6 Pontiac Safari, because I had a Nomad, but the Safaris were almost difficult to find. Oh, you couldn't hardly ever find them. They were the Pontiac's version of a Nomad.
And there's one here.
There's one here.
Color? Do you remember what color?
I can't remember the color, but
all right,
it's parked over with the rest of the Nomads there.
Gotcha. I'll have to check those out.
It's a beauty.
Well, there's a lot of beauties out here, but and I'm talking cars.
Yeah.
We've seen.
You're not referring to this table.
Yeah, well, we have seen everything. When we got here to set up this morning, it was overcast. It was cool and comfortable. As the sun came out, I've noticed a lot less clothing is being worn. I mean, it's gotten warm, so people are shedding their coats and sweaters and putting hats on.
Everybody's slowing down a little bit, conserving their energy.
When I brought out the memorabilia and put it up here today, I had my friend Mark Lingua bring out his Bonneville race car, if you'll see it up there. It's about 29 feet long.
Oh, I saw that, the long, narrow one.
That car has run over 345 miles an hour.
Wow, on the ground.
Yeah.
That's with a 4-cylinder engine.
No kidding.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't even look like a car. You walk by it, you have to look twice at it to realize what you're walking by.
The exhaust only comes out on the right side. Nothing on the left side.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's something else. There's so much to see here.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
It takes more than a day to see it.
Well, that's all they give us.
That's all they give us.
But it gives you a reason to come back next year.
You better put your good shoes on and keep warm and run around and see it.
You have good walking shoes here.
Yeah.
And your chariot, oh, it's a different chariot. Your chariot hasn't returned to us yet. But this is great. And you're more than welcome to take as much credit for all this as you want. The plank owners,
I mean, when we put on this program like this, it takes probably about 30 or 40 people deeply dedicated to do this. You have members that do help, and you got members that are devoted to things there. Without their help, we wouldn't be able to do this.
People don't know how many moving parts go into an event like this, and there are more and more every year.
That's right.
As your local governments and agencies pile on kind of more requirements and things.
We've got a lot of new people that have jumped in there and helped us quite a bit.
And it's all for charity. Nobody's making a dime on this.
Charity.
Yep.
And of last year, we had given away about 500,000 plus another 500,000 in charities in Burbank since we've been doing this in the early 90s.
That's amazing, because this isn't the only event the Road Kings do. I mean, it's a year-round thing for the Road Kings.
Because I remember us going around to a couple of people's homes that didn't even have money to pay their rent or feed their kids, and we give them some money that they needed to help them. So that's what this is all about.
Right.
That's it.
This is a great day for the attendees, but for the Road Kings members, but it really all goes to benefit those that need it.
That's right, yeah.
The bossy, which is great. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for giving us a reason to be here. way back when.
Right.
Well, Jim, we're here this year. We're hoping to see you next year.
Okay.
We'd love to talk to you again.
Okay, I sure hope so.
All right.
Thanks for coming on the show. Well, Ross, Craig, that wraps up a very eventful and very busy Road King Show 2025. So, any impression from the day, or
nothing like an eventful event? It's great. The weather held up. We got two of our favorite kinds of weather: overcast and cool, and then sunny and breezy. So we got a little bit of it. But nothing I haven't said throughout the day already. But it's a great sense of community, and great to see all kinds of people showing up to an event, despite the events happening around the city these days. But these works of art out here, and again, I wish we had more time for us to walk around, But no, it's great stuff here, from the young to old, and that's not just the cars, that's the people here. But I always leave the day happy and energized. So it's great, and we've spoken to some great folks.
Oh, we have
another winner.
I hear on the stage they're just starting to give out the awards.
Well, Rob.
And I'm totally in shock, because walking up to our booth is one of our old reporters, Devin Arenda. And that's just, how are you? They're wrapping up the show. They're wrapping up awards. We're wrapping up our show. What do you think?
I think it was a great day.
Well, you went off the rails just now, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. To see our old reporter who
but I
started all this.
But I think you'd agree that if we haven't already said it, it isn't. We don't have the words for
Right. Well, that's it. So for Craig Durling and for Ross Benson and for our technical engineer, Xavier, the X-Man Dubon, this is Craig Sherwood saying thank you very much for watching. If you're driving your car right now, keep two hands on the wheel. If you're watching us, subscribe, like, leave us comments. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you for watching our My Burbank video. Please consider a channel membership to support us, or head over to our merch store where you can pick up some great items. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest videos, and please don't forget to hit that like button.